welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Legacy. I've actually done quite a bit of off-camera prep work, because I've got some stuff I want to fix up, and also I was bored, so I spent 2.5 hours about in the pit digging. Yeah, I got quite a bit dug out. I'm gonna fix this path today. It irks me that it's wrong. So now there's only one chunk's worth of stuff to dig out. It's just split over 2 chunks, or why, I actually don't know if it's split over 2 chunks. Could be split over more. I don't know exactly how I placed this. But today we're gonna fix up this path, first of all, because it's off-center, and I'm just gonna have a 6-wide path in the middle. Because, why not? And then, gonna work more on that hot air balloon, because I actually went and got some wool, and I have enough wool to work on it now. Not to finish it, but certainly to get some stuff done, which is always great. Especially because of the way I build spheres means I need to start working on the sides and top as well before I run out of ability to do that. Okay, and then this will just be perfect and lovely, and yes, wonderfully centered, as all things should be. And I won't be as at risk of falling off and killing myself, because this is a death drop, and I haven't made myself proper new armor yet. That's yet to happen. And if I'm being entirely honest, it probably will not happen, because I'm stubborn and don't want to make new armor. Oh, what? I didn't even notice that I did that. Oh well. Right, so I still have a ton of glass left over, so what I might do is add, like, depending on how many spawn platforms I can fit in here, this might get dug down more. Once I dig this up, probably, what's my Y? Yeah, I can't dig that up too much, so I might end up digging this down a few more blocks, depending on what my spawns are like. And if I do that, I'll probably have to add another, well, I'm probably going to have to add another, catwalk, so that way I can aggro all the mobs. That might be an integral part of getting this thing to work. So let's sort a sheep. Get this. Ooh, another sheep. Lucky day. I get plenty of wool. Gimme. Well, I don't know if that one was a Serta sheep, but I don't think it was. It did not look like 3 wool popped out. So let's get to work on... I should put my glass away before I lose it, because something I would do is open my inventory and see the light on the glass and think, oh, wool. And then I would use it, and I need to not do that. Okay. Yeah, this'll work. And then once I've gotten a little bit of work done on the hot air balloon, there's something I want to show you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it to use, but I think with where it's placed, it's a definite possibility. And it's going to allow me to make the mob farm even more effective because of where it's placed. So I'm actually really excited about it. Okay. Really? I thought he was gonna land on the wall. Oh man, okay. Well, that happened. Let's go up here and get this started, because this is an integral part of making hot air balloon. Okay, so this one I actually have to spruce around for because I was stupid enough to not do it properly. But, you know. Improvise, adapt, overcome. There we go. Okay, this is coming along nicely. I'm already running out of wool again. Which is fine. I did not expect this wool to last me super long. Get rid of this, because it's gonna irk me if I leave it, and I can always go and get the dirt later. But also maybe not, because I have a lot of dirt. I have a lot of blocks in general, actually. More than I need, but that's not gonna stop me from getting more. Okay, where's my... Okay. There we go. Add this here. And then this. And then if I do this, it means I can do this and then that without actually making that difficult on myself. Let's see if I can't get these up here. Okay. There we go. And I don't have enough to finish, as expected. But that's alright. I don't need to have enough to finish to get a little bit of progress in. Sometimes getting a little bit of work done on something is really all it takes to kind of get it going. So now that we've worked on that, I want to show you guys what I found in the mob farm that might let me make it even more efficient. And now I know what you're thinking. Ruby, how can you possibly make a mob farm more efficient in alpha? You don't even have pistons. I know. I miss them a lot. Sometimes I regret doing this because I think, oh, it would be so easy if I just had some pistons and repeaters, because then I could make this so that it turns off spiders and does only creepers and stuff like that. Let me remember where I stuck my staircase down real quick. And get my sword out, because it's actually a little dangerous to go down there. Okay, yeah, I have dirt on me. So there's this cave here, and I ran into it while I was digging. Perfectly fine, you know, I can just light it up and close it off. But the thing about it is I went down here, lighting it up as I went, and this is specifically the reason that I've gone a lot more than 8 blocks is why I think I might be able to get away with using this. Up there is a dungeon. Now, I'm squishy enough for what spawner is it? Okay, we'll just, there we go, torch spam. There's no mob in there. There's no mob in the spawner. There is some stuff in the chest, which I will take. And then I will take the chest. And probably the mossy cobble later. Huh. Weird, it was spawning skeletons when I ran into it earlier. I almost died. Guess I'll toss a few more torches down. Come and get all these ores later. Yeah, so I found this. I don't know what it spawns. I think it might be skeletons, because when I almost died, there were a lot of skeletons. But it also might be zombies, because there were like 6 zombies that I had to kill to find it. So, who knows what it spawns? I don't. So yeah, I found that. And it's... I think it's like just out of Oh, I have to AFK over by it. Ooh, yeah, I might just steal the cobble, the mossy cobble, and tear it down. Might do that with the rest of the dungeons that I have, to be honest. I don't particularly need dungeon-based mob spawners because this one is hopefully going to work really well. But yeah, if it spawns skeletons, what I might do is, if I ever want just bones, and are there bones? I don't think there's bones. If I ever want just arrows, the idea is I could, sluice over there, and, because, mobs swim in this version, they'll float up and down if you put them in water. They've done that in a lot of versions, but because they do it in this version as well, what I could easily do is dig out the areas in the typical mob spawner fashion, 4 above, 9 down, like 4 to each side, and it would allow me, where am I putting this stuff? I'd have the ability to spawn skeletons. Oh, there was a bucket in there, convenient. I'd have the ability to spawn skeletons, and only skeletons if it were a skeleton spawner. Similar to the zombie spawner that I have right behind there that I should probably make into a feather farm so I have a better supply of arrows. But I don't want to do that. But what I could easily do is just shoot them up a tube of water and then drop them down like 30 blocks. And that would kill them because I have 10 hearts, which is 20 HP, and it takes a 23 block fall to, or 22 and a half, 23 block fall to slaughter anything with 10 hearts, just because of how fall damage is calculated. Theoretically it could be 22, but, you know, no, my mistake, it's 23 and a half blocks minimum to kill anything with 10 hearts, because of how fall damage is calculated. Theoretically it should be 23, but because you don't take damage when you fall 3 blocks, you need that extra half block to kill. So I could very easily send him up like 25 blocks and then send him over a little bit and drop him right back down and just sit at the bottom of that pit and just pick up all the items. It would not be difficult, it would not be hard, I would be in zero-ish danger. Does this one have a mob in it? Oh, do spawners just not have mobs in this version? No, I could have sworn when I thought when I first found this one that it had a zombie in it because it was a zombie spawner. No, yeah, this had a zombie in it when that's an odd glitch. Unless they break in this version, which would honestly be a little funky. So something I encountered in I think last episode or the episode before that, I think it was last episode though, was there's a suspiciously square hole over here, and I don't know if it's a cave or a dungeon, but I want to find out. Because if it's a dungeon, I have 3 dungeons in very close proximity, and if I'm lucky, I'm not going to be able to tell, but if I'm lucky, I might have one of the 3 types of dungeons you can get in Alpha, which is zombie, skeleton, and spider. I think there were creeper dungeons. I'm absolutely getting distracted killing those pigs. I think there were creeper dungeons at one point, but I don't remember when they were implemented or removed. I just remembered. Or maybe it was a spoof, because I know in later versions, once you get creative mode, you can / give yourself a monster spawner, and then if you use a spawn egg on it, it'll oh, sheep. If you use a spawn egg on a monster spawner, it'll start spawning whatever mobs in the spawn egg in later versions, regardless of if you can actually supposed to be able to get a spawner of that specific mob, not a starter sheep, in vanilla or not, or natural generation or not. So, I think it might have been there's a lot of pigs. I want to have so much pork. and I don't have enough sticks to cook it all the way that I like it. Now see, this was suspiciously square over here. Sorry about that. The thing about this is I don't trust that this isn't a dungeon. I'm suspicious. And I feel like I have a right to be. Just because of how square it was. Nope, not a dungeon. Well, that's a shame. This is a pretty cool little area, though. Let's kill another pig. Okay. I don't remember what else I was supposed to do this episode, even though I know I knew it before I started recording. It's funny how brains work like that. It's also a bit of a shame, because I really would like to remember what I was supposed to be doing, and I don't. Oh well. So we'll just go back to our little town, where I have a great many things. Once I get the mob farm done and maybe spend like another 4 hours mining to get 4 more diamonds so I can make diamond armor without feeling yikes, I'm low on diamonds, even though actually no, diamonds are still pretty valuable. You want to have, pardon me, I'm beeping. Shut up, Tom. You in older versions you want to have a sizable amount of diamonds just because your diamond stuff breaks. And like, I don't know about you, but I know that a 32 by 32 by 27 pit has a lot more than 1,500 blocks in it, which is about how many uses the diamond pickaxe has. And I'm not going to try and do the math off the top of my head because I don't actually. 16 times 64 is just 8 times 64 times 2, and 8 times 64 is 128 times 4, which is 400 plus 28 times 4. And 28 times 4 is 20 times 4 plus 8 times 4, so 400 plus 80 plus 32, which is 512, so 1,024. How did I get to... Why was I doing that math? I know I was doing it for a reason. I know I was well... I guess now you know what 32... Oh, right. Right, I remember. So 1,024 blocks in a 32 by 32 plane. Now multiply that by 27. Which is 1,000 times 27, which is 27,000 plus 24 times 27, which I'm not doing on screen because I'm going to forget why I did it again. That's a lot of blocks. That's more blocks than I have diamonds to make pickaxes for, I think. So we're not going to, yeah, you see why... Especially because you can't repair stuff, I can't just make an anvil and stick a diamond in with my diamond pickaxe to fix it. I have to, make a new pickaxe, which takes 3 diamonds. For that first plane, that's already, like, 2/3 of the pick. Multiply that by 27 is a lot of pickaxes, so that's... Ouch. Why am I going off on this tangent? Oh, right. That's why, so, that's a lot of diamond pickaxes, which is, why diamonds are actually fairly useful to, like, keep some supply of in alpha. It's, in older versions, it's typically a good idea to have at least a few on hand. Because once you start doing stuff like that on the regular, you start like having these ridiculous amounts of diamond pickaxes that you're burning through because you're making your own cavern to kill mobs with. Even though I think I might be one of the only people who did this. Because in Alpha, Minecraft was not super popular. And I think unless you were super technical already back then, in which case I commend you. You're like a Minecraft god. If you were super technical in Alpha, everyone should fear your Minecraft power. Because you sure do have a lot of it. I'm already almost out of sticks, and I still have so many more pork chops to cook. But yeah, mob farms were not super common in Alpha because there's not a lot of redstone capabilities. So if you were technical enough to do a mob farm in Alpha, I commend you. You are an inspiration to us all. But also it was probably just a giant pit like I'm making. Let's be honest. We can't kid ourselves here. Mob farms didn't evolve past giant pits till we got stuff like pistons, which are useful for pushing blocks. At which point, water and stuff started to be used because you could push mobs. Oh, I didn't even mean to grab that. You could push mobs off of stuff with water. And then you could also like attract them with stuff at that point. I have a lot of pork. I don't need to kill any more pigs for hopefully a little while. Okay, where did I? There they are. Last of the pork chops. Hello, Mr. Sheep jumping outside my window. Did I get them all? Yep. So I'll just... There we go, there we go. Sticks. This entire chest is mostly full of meat, and I am proud of myself for that. This is a much faster way to cook meat than sitting at the furnace waiting for a singular piece to cook with coal, because I don't want to waste any of the coal. Oh no, my pork. Because I don't want to waste any of the coal because I'm stingy. That's not the one. Alright, let me make a new sword because mine's a break-in. I need my sticks for this. Do-do-do, sword. I can also make arrow because I have a feather. Remember when I had like a stack and a half of arrows? I miss those days. Well, I have a little more wool now. So, for the end of the episode, let's go take this wool and add a little bit more to this hot air balloon, which I think is starting to look pretty cool. You can definitely see the sphere starting to come into shape. I'll probably have to do more wood cutting because I'm using all of my wood to cook pork instead of for fences, which is why I have that much wood in the first place. But it could be worse. I could have no wood to cook pork with. Or I could be using something dumb like coal. Okay. Yeah, using sticks to cook pork is much more efficient because I can just throw it all in the furnace without worrying about wasting stuff. I am absolutely going to have to light this up. Boop. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So let's get a screenie of... You know, I want a screenie of it from down below. I think that... Oh no. Ouch. In case you're wondering why my armor's broke, I do stuff like that on the regular. Including in the pit, where it's a lot more deadly. Good thing I have a lot of pork. Okay, so I'm thinking perhaps I shouldn't have come down this way. Except that's a really cool shot. So I'm glad that I did. Right, thank you for watching. If you're part of the morning crew, I hope you have a great day. If you're part of the evening crew, I hope your day's been great. And if you're part of the afternoon crew, well, I hope your day is going alright. I've been Ruby Robotic, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode.